YouTube, it's AdorMonet23 and I'm back with another video today. Today I'm going to be talking about the obvious. If you have been watching my videos, if you, even if you are just looking at this title and you're just now coming to my channel, you should know that this is about my new change and my hair color. So, I went in to dye my hair and I went to a stylist and this is what came out at the end. I think I'm going one step lighter, but I'm going to tell you my story to how I got this color. So the first time I went in to get it lifted, and it wasn't the color that I wanted, but I didn't say anything. That was my issue because I feel like when you go to get something, you should get what you want. But I was scared to get my hair dyed since it was my first time getting my hair dyed, lifted, or anything. I always had black hair and my hair is so dark. You would have thought I have dyed my hair jet black. Like you would have never thought that I have never had a color in my hair. But my hair is actually that dark and you can see it up here. So I went in and I was like, okay, well, I do want to change. And she had lifted my hair, but it wasn't that much. It was like a dark brownish. And I was like, okay, well, I like it. I did like it, but it wasn't as light as I wanted it to be. But I was scared and I went in not knowing everything I could have did. I did not know I could lift my hair twice in one day. I would just basically set up under the dryer even longer. So, that is one thing I did learn from that. And then I came back 2-3 weeks later and I got my hair lifted again and I came out with this color. And I only lifted my hair from about right here and down because I wanted somewhat of an ombre effect, but I didn't want to lift it from my root. I do love my black hair. That's why I didn't want to lift it from my root. I love my black hair, but I wanted something different and I wanted to change. So that's why I did only lifted it from about 3 inches away from my roots. I want to say 2.5, 3 inches. So telling you that story, I basically want to give you tips on what should you expect and what you should do before and after getting your hair dyed, lifted, bleached, and if you're natural. Because I'm speaking on me being natural and going to get my hair lifted. I'm not speaking on me being relaxed because I do not have a relaxer in my hair. If you have seen my other videos, you can see that my natural hair curls up. And yeah. So I did write some things down, some tips to tell you guys that I have learned from this experience. And yeah, let's get right into the video. The first one is know what you want. Like I said, I knew what I want, but I didn't really know what I wanted. So I saw pictures and then, yeah, I basically went in just saying I wanted it lifted, not telling her how light, not telling her how dark. So I say when you go in, have pictures that you want, how you want your hair and how you don't want your hair. I know one thing with me, I did not want my hair looking uneven, and I didn't want it to look choppy. And I'm going to show some pictures of how bad dyes look, or how people have did it themselves, and you just look at it and just like, no, I do not want it like that. So I basically did go in and tell her I didn't want it looking choppy looking because I seen other people have it, and basically she said that most of the time when people's hair looks choppy looking, they probably have did it themselves or someone else have did it that didn't have the experience that they should have had, or they used boxed hair dye. That's another thing. If you're going to dye your hair yourself, I wouldn't go for boxed hair dyes, and make sure you up and read everything that you can and you know about boxed hair dyes before you go and buy something from your local beauty supply store or drugstore and just putting it in your hair, because it is a chemical, especially if your hair is dark as mine. And like I said, you can tell how dark my hair is, and people have asked me over and over. Even my beautician, she asked me, did you get your hair dyed before? And I'm like, no, I've never got my hair dyed. And that's because my roots was so dark. My hair is so dark. So yeah, like I said, just stay away. I would stay away from box dyes and I would just go to professional. If you do want to just go ahead and get your hair dyed, and you're going to use a box dye, like I said, you do as much as research as you can on it, and even go to a local beauty supply, not a beauty supply store. Go to a local hairstylist or anyone that you know that actually does hair professionally, and ask them if you were to dye your hair with box dye. Then ask them what route you should go, and everything. Have pictures that you want and that you don't want, because like I said, I absolutely did not want my hair to look choppy. I wanted it to have the black going into the brown and looking nice. I didn't want it to look like this. I wanted it to look smooth, and it came out really nice the second time I got it lifted and everything. So I was like, okay, this is really nice. And what I basically went in, this is not the color I wanted originally. I wanted even a even lighter color than this, but like I said, since my hair is so dark, you can't really do that unless putting bleach directly in my hair. So I did get it lifted to this color, and I'm absolutely in love with this color. So, like I said, just when you go in and make sure you have 2 pictures or a couple of pictures of saying how you want your hair and how you don't want your hair, because a stylist cannot read your mind. So you need to know exactly, or you need to be telling them, that way you guys will be on the same level of how you want how much you want dyed. When, like I said, I already knew from the beginning I did not want my roots dyed. I did not want to start like at the top of my head. One reason, because I did not want to have to feel that. I knew from the get-go I did not want my hair to be dyed from the roots. I did not. Because one reason, I did not want to have to go back every couple of weeks to get my hair dyed, because like you will start to notice, or like you have noticed, that I do my own hair. So that's something I did not want to have to keep going back and back just to get my roots touched up. And I like the way somewhat of an ombre effect looks, and then especially when it grows out to be longer, I would like to see that. So when you go in, just make sure you know exactly how you want it. Like, I went in and I had this picture of Sierra, and I knew I wanted my hair like or similar to it, and it pretty much came out when dyeing wise like that. I fell in love with the color that I have now. Okay, before going, make sure your hair is detangled already, or she or he will detangle your hair. I feel like now that I know, I probably would detangle my hair that morning before, because to get your hair dyed or lifted, you would have to make sure your hair is pretty much straight, or at least blow dried or combed out. So when I went in, she had to comb out my hair and then blow dry it. And just make sure, I would say, going into it now, and if I had to start all over again, I probably would have conditioned my hair that night or 2 nights before, and then twisted it up to let it air dry. That way, or after I detangled, twisted it up and let it air dry, and then that way it wouldn't be too detangled, and then that morning comb it out a little bit again. Or that night, I would have just I would have washed it or conditioned it and blow dried it out, and then that way it would have been a little bit straighter and everything. But I know a lot of people don't like using heat on their hair like me. I do not like using heat when it's not necessary, or when I don't feel that I need to use it. So like I said, you could just wash it, comb it out, and then braid it up or twist it up, and then it will be more stretched for the next day. Don't be afraid to speak up. Make sure you're telling your stylist what you want, because like I said, your stylist cannot read your mind, and that's something that I didn't do that I should have. I should have been like, okay, I want this, this, and this, and then I would have saved the trip to going to the hairstylist trying to get my hair lifted again. But just make sure you speak your mind. They want to hear what you want. Don't feel like you're intimidating them, because most of the time they aren't intimidated. They want to hear exactly what you want and how you feel and everything. So make sure you're giving your opinions. Make sure you're telling them what you want and how you want it, and showing pictures and everything like I said before. Your first time getting your hair dyed or dyeing your hair, ask questions. Make sure you ask questions. Like, I didn't know. At first I was wondering if I should wash my hair after dyeing, because I remember getting relaxers and you couldn't wash your hair after, you couldn't wash your hair for at least about a week and a half, a week or two. That way the relaxer would stay in your head. I didn't know that I could just wash my hair and nothing would happen, you know. So make sure you ask questions. If you're not sure about your shampoo or anything, you need to switch, or you want to switch, or you don't know if you should or not, make sure you ask your stylist questions, and ask questions that way they can give you their feedback on what you should and shouldn't be doing with your hair, you know? Never dyed my hair before, ever. I'm about to be 18 years old, and I just never really wanted to dye my hair. I love my natural black hair, but now that I am about to be 18 years old, I wanted to just try something new on my natural hair. The closest I have been to dyeing my hair is spray bottles, extensions, and and wigs. Them are the three things. And if you feel like you don't know how a certain color will look on you, I would say do the same thing. Spray bottles work sometimes, but they do kind of get on your clothes and everything. So that's why I don't recommend them for everyday use. But if you would like to just try and see how something looks on you, I would say use spray bottles. Get wigs from your local beauty supply store. You can just go there and even put it up to your skin and seeing if you would like it or not, or ask them to try on a wig, or extensions. Get extensions. I like to sew in my extensions, and you will know more about that in an upcoming video of mine. But I like to do sewing extensions if I want something new, and I feel like it helps your hair. One, it helps your hair grow. Two, it just helps you give you a new look. If you don't know how a certain color will look on you, extensions are the best way to go without damaging your natural hair. Okay, one thing I did realize about my hair after I dyed it, and someone else has said this too, that their hair pattern isn't the same. Their curl pattern isn't the same when you wash it, and mine was not the same. And I'm going to show a picture right now of before and after. So that's before and after I got my hair dyed, and you can see a big difference in my curl pattern. I'm not saying that I don't like it, but I did like my other curl pattern the most because that's what I'm used to, of course. But a lot of people have said that their curl pattern has went back to normal after a couple of washes, so I will update you guys on that. But so far, my curl pattern has changed, as you can see, and it's not a bad thing, but it's not my curl pattern, you know. So be expecting your curl pattern to change a little bit or not be the same, because everybody doesn't have one curl pattern in their head, like just one. It's usually tighter curls in the back and looser curls in the front, and that's how my hair is. But my curl pattern did change. Last thing I really have to say is to make sure when you are dyeing your hair, even before you dye your hair, make sure your hair is moisturized. Make sure you know how your hair works, because you don't want to just go in saying, okay, well, I just became natural, now I just want a new look again. Because yeah, if you don't know how your hair works, I wouldn't recommend going to get your hair dyed, because of the fact that you don't know what will happen. You don't know what to use. So I would say experiment on your hair first, and get to know your curl pattern, get to know how your hair is, especially if you're natural, like I'm saying. I have known my curl pattern, and I've been natural for quite a while now, so I have experience with my hair with different products, and I have got to know how my hair works. If you don't know how your hair works, you shouldn't just put anything in your hair, and this goes for any type of chemical, any dyeing, if you want to go get a relaxer, anything. Make sure your hair is moisturized, because if you do not moisturize your hair beforehand, don't just go get your hair dyed, because if you go get your hair dyed and don't moisturize your hair will break off. I have seen people have dyed their hair, and then you could see the breakage from them flat ironing and not putting enough moisturizer in it, and even or when their hair looks brittle and stuff like that, don't damage your hair, especially. And if you have any damage already to your hair, I recommend not getting your hair dyed until either you cut the damage out or your hair is healthy to the point that you feel that you can go ahead and get it dyed. If I know I had a little bit of damage, it was mostly split ends, so I did get my hair trimmed before getting my hair this color. So just make sure that your hair is up to date, and make sure that you know what's going to happen to your hair, because I did not know my curl pattern was going to change until after I did it. And I wouldn't go back and change anything though, but I love my hair color and it's no damage. I have no breakage. When I have flat ironed my hair, I had ended up combing it out, or when you comb it, and I do the chase method, and it wasn't breakage in my comb or anything. So I was happy about that. Really happy about how my hair came out. So these are just some tips that you should know beforehand and after about going to go get your hair dyed if you're natural. If I were to go do this all over again, I would have definitely combed out my hair or detangled my hair the night before. That way she wouldn't have had to detangle it as much. Or I would have asked her, could I detangle it? That way, because people don't know how you detangle your hair. Stuff like that, people don't know. So I would have asked her, or I would have just detangled it beforehand. I would have went in with more pictures of how exactly what I wanted and didn't want. She understood but she wasn't that confused when I said, okay, this is what I want and this is what I don't want, because she got that part really, really well. But that doesn't mean that all hairstylists will just be like, okay, I know what you want, I know what you don't want, just showing 2 pictures or anything. My hairstylist did get it, but that doesn't mean everybody doesn't work the same. So just make sure you go in what you don't want, what you want. Make sure you have the color you want out, you ready. Like I said, you can go to beauty supply stores and just look at sample theory. They have samples and everything. Your beautician should have samples of hair, like a hair booklet or anything. That way they'll know exactly what to do or what color you want. But with that said, this is how my hair had came out, and I really like the color. It's coming off a little bit more. It's like it depends on what lighting I really am in, because sometimes it looks more of a blondish color and sometimes it looks more of a brownish orangish color. And another thing that when I went in, I knew I wanted more towards blonde and brown instead of orange, because you've seen people dye their hair blonde and it looks kind of orangish. I did not want that, and she did know that too. But this is how it came out, and it's looking a little orange in this, but it's not. Oh, I got something on here. But it's really not. It's more of a brown, a really light brown. Or it's really good that if you go check out my last video on my twist out, it shows really, really well. So you can check that out, and that will be in the description box. Thank you for watching. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe and thumbs up. I will have more videos coming very, very soon. Thank you for being patient with me. I'm in school, and I'm trying to get these videos out, and I'm finally getting on a balance of school and putting the videos out. So thank you for watching, and like I said, if you're new, subscribe to my channel, please. If you have any questions, comment down below. My twist out video will be down below as well. I do have natural hair, so if you have natural hair and you want to know more about your hair or more about my hair, please subscribe and stay tuned. So thank you for watching, guys. Bye.